In a row to start the year. Robinson Cano with another home run, his third of the season.
Cano would go on to hit his fourth home run of the season in the ninth inning as the Mariners came back to score 5 runs and win the series versus the Rangers. The Seattle bullpen was again strong, throwing 3 scoreless innings. The M's now lead the majors in homers with 9 on the season. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 7:09. I'm Carol Gardner, and here's the weather. It's going to be a beautiful day. Some high clouds to start, leading to sunny skies. Today's highs will be around 80. The record high is 78. Tomorrow, another great day, but back at more normal range, upper 60s to mid 70s. Perfect for the Mariners home opener. Weekend forecast looks partly cloudy with temps in the low to mid 60s, and right now it's 40.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, 7:10 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Mark Ziegler from Shelton Parks and Rec coming in at 8:45 for the Focus on Shelton today. Beautiful day. As a matter of fact, Parks and Rec Week coming up here. What's the 7th, so not next week, but the week after that. So on the 18th of April, Carol, Mark Ziegler is going to come in again. It's a Monday morning, though, this time, and we're going to talk with him about the various parks in Shelton. Where the parks are, what activities you can do there, and so that's coming up on the 18th for city parks. Then, hold on, I don't have your.
Oh, okay.
You were busy working, so I had your microphone down.
Sorry. I mean, there's a lot of parks around that you just don't realize.
You just don't realize. There's this one right up the road from us here, along the river, the creek, whatever. Also, on the 19th, Jeff Vrabel from the county is coming in.
To talk about parks?
To talk about the parks in the county system.
Cool.
So we're going to have a couple guys, actually. Jeff and Carl are coming in to talk about the parks in the county system because it is summer. It's going to be 80 today. Also a reminder, if you're out walking the dog or you're out walking yourself and you're sweating and you're near a body of water or a creek or a river, do not jump in because the temperatures still come from our glacier-fed mountains, and it is like 30, 32.
Plus, when spring always has the rivers or whatever rushing, so there's a lot of water flowing through. I haven't been up there, but that's usually what happens. I'm guessing this will still be happening this spring. So, once you get in and you start floating down the river.
Yeah, one time I had one of my dogs get in the river. I think the Deschutes River, and it started getting pretty treacherous, as a matter of fact. And you could see that they don't really know. They kind of get in, and then all of a sudden, it takes them. And all of us, me, the dog, I think my dad was there too at the time, we all started freaking out.
Did you jump in?
We got to jump in or run along the bank to try to get ahead of the dog to catch it. Oh.
Well, what happened?
Well,
leaving me a cliffhanger.
Everybody, be right back. No, everybody's fine.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Choosing your deductions. Should you go standard or should you itemize? I'm ABC's Chief Business and Economics Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis with today's tax tip.
I would hope that most people itemize. My guess is a lot of people take standard deduction. It's a really easy calculation, though, because you add up your itemized deductions, and if they're more than your standard deduction, you take itemized deductions.
Tom Wheelwright, founder of CPA firm Provision, is right. Over 60% of taxpayers take the standard deduction. Kiplinger's Kevin McCormley explains why.
Most people don't itemize, particularly young people just starting jobs. They don't have enough qualified expenses to itemize, so they take the standard deduction.
H&R Block's Kathy Pickering says owning a home unlocks the door for itemizing.
Once you can claim your homeowner's insurance and mortgage deduction, you can also itemize your charitable deductions, the medical expenses if you had a lot, personal property tax on your car.
With today's tax tip, Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News.
If your saving for a retirement strategy involves the phrase, "I'll get around to it someday," we need to talk. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor, Karen Shade. When it comes to meeting your goals, time can be on your side, and there's no better time than now to get started toward your retirement goals. Stop by my office at 1051 Southeast State Route 3, Shelton.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
If you care about what's going on around here, subscribe to the Shelton Mason County Journal. You will learn something useful about your neighborhood, upcoming events, your community, and coworkers. Laugh at the comics, cry with the obituaries, learn about local concerts, games, and new businesses. Being informed is worth it in so many ways. Subscribe today. Call 360-426-4412 or visit masoncounty.com. Check out the Journal's garage sales, too. Try it. You'll love it.
The Chad Benson Show.
I would be frustrated at times too as president, never being able to get anything done. Because the people, if you will, below you are going to fight all the time. So it would be frustrating as hell. I get it. He goes about it the wrong way. That's not what you're supposed to do as a leader. But in saying that, I understand. I do.
The Chad Benson Show.
Hey, it's Chad Benson. Join me this afternoon from 3 to 6 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
You know, on Science Fantastic, we've had a number of neurologists talking about the incredible breakthroughs. Did you know that using computers, we can actually communicate with the thinking brain? Telepathy, telekinesis, recording memories, photographing a dream. Machines that are controlled by the mind.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
.17 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Daybreak with Jeff and Carol. Beautiful sunrise on the Twitter.
That's right. The Mason County Sheriff Office once in a while will Twitter and post a picture of something beautiful in Mason County, and the sunrise is quite beautiful. So check out our Twitter feed.
I noticed that on Twitter and Facebook the other day, they have opened up the ability for sight-impaired folks to, for lack of a better word, see the photos.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what's going to happen is, for example, this picture, beautiful picture that
Right.
was posted, you can see it on our, we retweeted it, but you would take the photo and it would take a little extra time, but you would write a description
Mhm.
of the photo. Beautiful, partly cloudy sunrise over treetops, shining off the water with dock in front of it. And so someone who's sight impaired
Mhm.
is able to then either audibly hear that description, or it would pop up probably on like a Braille computer.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
On Facebook and Twitter these days. Just working more towards more inclusion here.
Mhm.
718 and better access for everyone as well. Police say a bus driver is reporting a possible sighting of two men who escaped from a psychiatric facility in Washington. This was brought to us by the Associated Press at 6:40 this morning, so 40 minutes ago. Lakewood Police Lieutenant Chris Lawler says a driver picked up a man he believes was 28-year-old Anthony Garver around 6 Wednesday night. Couple hours later, picked up another man. This time believes it was 58-year-old Mark Alexander Adams. Police say both men pose a danger to others, and they are continuing this search. It's ongoing. There's about an hour and a half, 2-hour head start for these guys. They saw him at the mess hall and then didn't see him again for the counts or whatnot. But they are described as dangerous. We have links to this on our
On Twitter, I have
Twitter.
links to it, and I will post it also on Facebook.
Facebook and Also, you can find more local news at iFiber1newsradio.com, but just be advised today, and that's what's happening around the Lakewood, but really with a couple-hour head start and during an overnight, we could be anywhere. 7:19 here at iFiber1 News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak with Mark Ziegler coming in just a little bit. Also today, we've got a break coming up, but after the break...
April, time for the most famous golf tournament in the world. I'm Richard Cantu, ABC News. A preview of the Masters straight ahead.
Yeah, I pulled into the Masters driveway once. Was told very quickly to turn around. No big deal. Sign autographs later today if you wish.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFiber1 News Radio.
I feel right at home on JohnLScott.com.
Hi, this is Dawn Pinnell from John L. Scott Real Estate here in Shelton. For a while now, I have been saying welcome home and sharing with you some great listings and some hopefully educational and interesting items of riveting radio real estate topics.
Dawn Pinnell's Radio Real Estate every other Friday at 8:45 on iFiber1 News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
I would love to help you say, I'm home.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFiber1 News Radio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFiber1 News Radio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFiber1 News Radio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
iFiber1 News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
.22 iFiber1 News Radio. Yeah, the Masters getting underway today. Tomorrow, during Sean Wells's sports report, he'll talk about how Ryan Moore does. He's from Puyallup. He's going to be in the Masters this year. So we were down there for a wedding. It's in beautiful Augusta. This is where Dale had his army
moves.
No, I don't know what I'm doing.
Armchair racing.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't know
Just
either.
moving my arms. He had his army training down there, so he was down there.
Oh, yeah, that is not army training.
You can watch the video at the 7:22 mark for that. But so he was down there, and then I was down there for a wedding, and you see the sign. There's just beautiful hedges along pretty big, busy interstate road down there in Augusta. And once you get there, you see the little sign just up in the corner. You can pull in, and it's a long drive straight down. At the end of the drive, you see the beautiful white clubhouse. But 10 feet in, barely enough room to even pull in and then do a three-point turnaround to get back out.
Mm-hmm.
There is a guard there.
A guard house or just a guard?
Both.
Okay, so you drove up there.
Oh, yeah.
And
turned in and wanted to, we'll just go down to the end, turn around, come right back. The guy says no.
So your car, your rent-a-car or your car that you were in was not approved, nor did you look like somebody that they would let in.
You look at me, you're going to say, yeah, come on down, come to the Masters, the beautiful Masters.
You didn't have your green coat on.
7:23, hot here. to start out this weekend. But how's it going to be down in Augusta for the Masters? Here's the preview from ABC.
Defending champion Jordan Spieth knows there's a target on his back. He realized that as he packed the green jacket for the trip to Augusta National.
I was like, wow, this is actually... There's a possibility that I don't have this back at my house anymore.
This will be Tom Watson's final Masters. At age 66, the two-time champ knows he's just about done.
The reality is that, yeah, maybe I can. No, you can't do it.
Arnold Palmer will join Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player on the first tee for the ceremonial opening shot, but at age 86, he's too frail to swing a club. Richard Cantu, ABC News.
So an exciting time. It always happens to be, about Sunday afternoon. Everybody starts gathering by the radios or the televisions and listening to how the Masters wraps up. A very exciting time for golf fans, to be sure. The owner of a horse that was rescued after being trapped in the mud on a woman's property in Lewis County has been arrested on animal cruelty charges. Jennifer Jenkins, arrested yesterday, facing 9 counts of cruelty to animals for the 9 horses that were seized from her Unalaska property. Fire crews, sheriff's deputies, and county staff reported to Jenkins's home Tuesday to rescue one of the horses stuck in the mud more than a foot deep, able to lift the horse out to safety after several hours. Breen says Jenkins complied with law enforcement commands and was arrested without incident.
And the Port of Vancouver has delivered a blow to a proposed oil transfer terminal, coming out against a contract renegotiation requested by Vancouver Energy. The staff recommendation to deny the request was announced. It increases the likelihood that the port commissioners will follow suit, leaving a contract in place that ramps up costs for the energy company starting this summer. Vancouver Energy is seeking to delay for 2 years an August 1st rent increase. Energy officials say they made the request because the project remains in the state approval phase. Port staff is recommending the board decline the request but continue working with Vancouver Energy. The modification will be debated at an April 12th public hearing and will likely be voted on by the 3-member commission at a meeting on April 15th.
Officials say a gray whale spotted in and around the Ballard Locks the past couple of weeks. There's some video and photos from Como yesterday as the whale swam and spouted water. The Whidbey Island-based Orca Network says the whale appears to be emaciated, likely not strong enough to make it the entire annual migration north. Network says the whale could have wandered into Puget Sound either looking for food or perhaps for a place to die. NOAA spokesman Michael Milston says there isn't much NOAA can do, as they don't typically intervene unless the whale becomes confined or entangled. The network cautions boaters to be aware of the whale's presence. Plenty of room. Please give it plenty of room. The locks connect the Sound and Lake Washington's Ship Canal.
And another lawsuit has been filed against Seattle's Ride the Ducks tour company concerning that deadly crash last September. Attorneys for the mother and the estate of 17-year-old Renji Song, a Chinese exchange student who was one of the 5 students killed in the crash, are suing the Ride the Ducks company, the city of Seattle, and the state of Washington. The lawsuit was filed yesterday in King County Superior Court. The lawsuit says Ride the Ducks failed to properly maintain the amphibious vehicle, which swerved across the center line on the Aurora Bridge and hit the bus in which Song was riding. The lawsuit also says the city and state transportation officials failed to properly maintain the bridge and should not have allowed the extra-wide tourist vehicles on the bridge with narrow lanes, no center median, and no shoulders.
Ferry commuters one step closer to a more reliable system as the ferries celebrate a major milestone for the Chimacum. The fleet's 3rd Olympic-class vessel, the Chimacum's 1,110-ton superstructure, which takes about 18 months to construct at a boat builder on Whidbey Island, transited it into Seattle last night. The superstructure makes up the top half of an Olympic-class ferry and will be joined to its hull at Vigor Shipyards on Harbor Island today. 12 hours or so, that's got to be something cool to watch. The 144-car Chimacum, the 3rd Olympic-class vessel, custom-built for the Washington State Ferries, operate the Seattle-Bremerton route beginning in early of next year.
And they will have a recap of the whole building process, and they'll reduce it down to a minute or so. They did that also with the Tokate, I believe. They showed it built really fast. So.
Yeah, like a steady cam shot.
Yeah,
and
just
it
the
just
whole
records
thing,
the whole
and then
time.
you can reduce it down to a minute
those
or
are
so.
fun to watch for sure. 7:29 at iFIBER One News Radio. Local news coming up in a couple of moments from Mary Lynn Foster after Mary Lynn's news. Tumwater did accept the donation of the historic brew house. We'll have that story for you. Sounds like the county commissioners in Mason are getting close to naming the person who's going to take over that new position for the county. We'll have that story as well coming up in a couple of moments. And I had one more. Oh, just this Monday, Star Wars, you could buy Star Wars on DVD.
On Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, DVD. The previous...
Only Blu-ray? I mean, you have to have a Blu-ray system.
You can get a regular DVD player. But they just tell you Blu-ray, so you have to buy all that new stuff.
Right.
Friday, you could download it. Well, today, the clips are out for the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, already?
There's a new movie coming out this year. It's called Rogue One.
Oh, so it's not a real Star Wars.
No, it is a real one. I'll tell you the premise after the break.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Former Port Executive Director John Dobson signed a separation agreement package with the port totaling a little over $51,400. The agreement document shows the payment to Dobson covers separation pay, 164 hours of sick leave, and 272 hours of vacation leave. There are other terms for Dobson with the agreement. You can see them on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. The port commissioners, who placed Dobson on administrative leave in early March, released a copy of the agreement on Tuesday. Dobson and the port commissioner signed the agreement March 24th. Port commissioners Dick Taylor, Christy Buck, and Sue Patterson did not discuss the agreement during the regular meeting this week. They've declined to comment on the specific reasons why Dobson was asked to leave the port after 7 years of service. It's Ride Transit Month, and Christina Fremont with MTA used the service yesterday to get to Seattle from Shelton for a 1 p.m. meeting. She started by getting on the 9:45 a.m. Route 1 Express, which leaves from the Transit Community Center and becomes the Route 3 Express and arrives at the ferry in Bremerton at 11, with the ferry departing at 11:10.
This is just one bus, Shelton to Bremerton, and the fare is $1.50, and then it's free to get on the ferry. I get over to Seattle about 12:15. My meeting's at 1, so I've got 45 minutes. It's actually only a couple blocks from the ferry terminal, so I'm going to walk over there. My meeting gets done at 3, and then I'll walk 2 blocks to a bus stop, catch Sound Transit Express back to Olympia, which I happen to live in Olympia. That's $3.75 for that fare, and I'll be home by 5:30.
Wow.
Yeah. If I was to drive, if there was no traffic, and we know how traffic is between Seattle and Olympia, have an extra hour because I'm on transit. But for me personally, it's priceless in the sense, loss of stress. I can get some work done.
And the total cost for the trip was well below the cost she would have paid just for parking, at $1.50 to Seattle and $3.75 back to Olympia. You can win prizes for going on a transit adventure of your own. Visit ridetransitmonth.org and register. Most Washington state employees are being instructed not to conduct any official travel to the state of Mississippi. Governor Jay Inslee announced the travel ban this week in response to Mississippi's controversial new law that allows business owners to refuse services to gay, lesbian, and transgender customers for religious reasons. The governor says the ban will be in effect as long as Mississippi's law exists in its current form. The governor also recently enacted a travel ban to North Carolina for that state's new law, which prohibits schools from allowing transgender students to use restrooms that match their gender identity. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. Best deals, best price, best trade, and low payments. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, hybrid, SUV, or performance car, we have them at the all-new Gillis Auto Center. Just go to Gillis, where low overhead and low sales tax means great savings for you. Family-owned Gillis Auto Center, where you get the lowest price at professional, courteous service. The all-new Gillis Auto Center in Shelton at the City Center Matlock exit and 24/7 at GillisAutoCenter.com.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER ONE Newsradio are still your only South Sound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are brought to you in part by Desco AV, Harold Carr Attorneys, Arch Mechanical Services, the all-new Gillis Auto Center, The Roof Doctor, and our Community Credit Union.
NBA with around 4 to 5 games to go. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. Well, the Mavericks did their part last night, keeping a slim cushion over Utah. They beat the Rockets 88-86, with Mavs guard J.J. Barea scoring 27.
We got to take advantage at home against a team that's right there with us. It's a must-win. Like every game left, it's a must-win, but this one was definitely one of the biggest of the year.
The Mavs are a game up on the Jazz. With LeBron James getting a night's rest, the Pacers took advantage at home.
Robinson gets it to Miles, who drives the lane and throws it down with a left hand. Oh, Slam City.
On WFNI, Indiana knocks off Cleveland 123-109. Pacers still lead 8th place Detroit by a half game. And 76ers GM Sam Hinkie has quit. Philadelphia is 10-68 this season. Well, Trevor is the big baseball story.
Fly ball to left center. Pretty well struck, and he has done it again. Yep. Home run for Trevor Story, his 4th in 2 games.
On KTAR, and according to the Elias Sports Bureau, Story is also the first player in baseball history to hit a home run for each of his first 4 hits. When the Dodgers beat the Padres 7-0, making San Diego the first team in Major League history to be shut out in its first 3 games. Pod skipper Andy Green.
You know, we do have 159 games left, and then we will score runs this year, and we will win series this year.
The Padres were outscored 25-0, setting the dubious record. Big day today as the Masters gets underway from Augusta National. And when it comes to majors, it starts with Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, and defending champion Jordan Spieth. Well, the greatest of all, Jack Nicklaus, spoke to ESPN.
They all three have their strengths. I mean, Jason Day is probably the longest of the 3 when he wants to be. Rory is probably the most. I suppose he can get the streakiest. He can get on a streak and really go. And Jordan is very, very steady.
Nicklaus and Gary Player will hit the ceremonial opening tee shot this morning. Arnold Palmer will be there, but says he's not well enough to hit. College hoops, Kentucky point guard Tyler Ulis will enter the NBA draft. Duke guard Grayson Allen will return for his junior season. Bryce Drew is the new head coach at Vanderbilt. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Shelton fast pitch scored early and often on their way to a 16-6 victory over Lincoln in 5 innings. The High Climbers will look to keep things rolling when they host Wilson this Monday. The Capital baseball team picked up a big win on the diamond. The Cougars knocked off Wilson 9-7. Capital is back in action at Gig Harbor this Friday. The Seattle Mariners got things going early, then came back late to knock off Texas 9-5. Robinson Cano kept his heater going, hitting his first of 2 home runs in the game in the first inning.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a fly ball deep into the gap in right center field. Chu going back to the 1, he tracked to the wall, looks up, goodbye baseball, he does it again. 3 days in a row to start the year. Robinson Cano with another home run, his 3rd of the season.
Cano would go on to hit his 4th home run of the season in the 9th inning as the Mariners came back to score 5 runs and win the series versus the Rangers. The Seattle bullpen was again strong, throwing 3 scoreless innings. The M's now lead the majors in homers with 9 on the season. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. I'm Carol Gardner. It's 7:37, and here's the weather. It's going to be a beautiful day. Some high clouds to start, leading to sunny skies. Today's highs will be around 80, possibly breaking records. Tomorrow, another great day, but back in the more normal range, upper 60s to mid 70s, perfect for the Mariners home opener. Right now, it's 40.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people, you. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 7:38 on a Thursday morning here. Beautiful day. Getting you really waiting for those dog days of summer.
Oh, I know. Aren't they just, I mean, the weather is, and then the light in the sky. You know, we do have to go to bed a little earlier because we get up so early, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I like the fact that it's light out. I just do. No matter if I have to go to bed.
Looking at some photos around the Twitter, they got some videos here, and traffic is moving slow, of course, up and down I-5. They got that glare in the head in the windshields these days, so make sure you got your sunglasses for sure. Go look for your sunglasses. Say it. Oh my gosh, big fire there. Looks like on 405 this morning. Yeah. I was reading, and I bring it up often, that I feel like I read one time that the Northwest is the biggest spender of sunglasses. Biggest money spender for sunglasses because, you know, we lose them so often. You use them for like a week or like a day, like today, and maybe you won't use them for another couple weeks until the summer. Misplace them.
Unless you have sensitive eyes, such as I do. Some cloudy days are super duper bright, and I have to wear my sunglasses. But do you think that sunglasses became a thing because it looked cool, or that people became more aware that they should just use covering for their eyes? Because I mean, back when, not everybody was wearing sunglasses.
I mean, I wear sunglasses because the Blues Brothers wore sunglasses.
Well, there you go.
It looks really cool.
There you go. So maybe it's just the cool factor, and people didn't really realize how much it helps their eyes.
Yeah, now they're getting a benefit. Police say a bus driver is reporting a possible sighting of two men who escaped from a psychiatric facility in Washington. I'll have that update for you, but first, a little background on that story from ABC.
A massive manhunt is underway for two men who escaped from a Washington State mental hospital. Police are describing the men as dangerous, and both have been deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial. Mark Alexander Adams and Anthony Garver were last seen at 6 p.m. in the hospital's dining hall. Garver is accused of stabbing a woman 24 times before slashing her throat. Adams was receiving treatment for a 2014 domestic violence charge. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
And as I mentioned, police are now saying a bus driver may have picked up these two guys in Lakewood. The lieutenant there, Chris Lawler, says the driver picked up a man he believes was 28-year-old Anthony Garver around 6 last night, kind of matching with that timeline. A couple hours later, picked up a man he believed was 58-year-old Mark Alexander Adams. And again, as we heard, police are saying that both men do pose a danger to others. So
yeah, the FBI is involved also.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, and they said Garver, who is the 28-year-old, is an experienced survivalist. According to court documents, has previously in the past threatened to blow up government buildings and kill a judge and prosecutor in Spokane. So, you know, it is serious business, as officials are saying. They went through a secure window with intent to leave, and they just sort of...
They sure did.
Took off, so...
7:42 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and good morning. It is Daybreak with Jeff and Carol here. So Tuesday night, they wrapped up that FX miniseries on the OJ trial. Spoiler alert, not guilty.
If somebody doesn't know that, I'm so sorry.
So I got that. I was able to. But here's another one from NBC.
From the OJ trial miniseries to the Menendez brothers. I'm ABC's Jason Nathanson with more on a new project coming up.
Yeah, the Menendez brothers. Those are those twins.
Yeah.
Back in '89.
Sort of the first
You're
whole
listening to
thing.
Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Taylor Shellfish is a proud sponsor of the Environmentally Sound program. For 5 generations, the Taylor family's been stewards of a healthy and prosperous Puget Sound. In partnership with nature, Taylor Shellfish brings you the freshest, most sustainable shellfish you'll ever eat. Visit their store at 136 Southeast Lynch Road. Open daily from 10 to 6, and they're online at TaylorShellfishFarms.com.
Mason County Garbage and Recycling on Johns Prairie here in Shelton is pleased to offer safe and efficient removal services. Mason County Garbage and Recycling is always mindful of environmental standards and is continuously striving for the highest excellence. Mason County Garbage and Recycling, upholding your trust within the community. Questions? Call 426-8729. In Belfair, 275-4590.
You know, there's nothing like the look and feel of a real newspaper. Award-winning writers and design, voted one of the best newspapers in Washington, the Mason County Journal has the news, opinion, and information you want. Full of colorful photos and great-looking ads, share it with family and friends. No electricity required. Look for us at over 80 locations throughout the county or visit masoncounty.com. The Mason County Journal, a big part of this wonderful place we call home.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER One News Radio. Nonprofits post your upcoming events on iFiber1newsradio.com. Registration for Olympic College Shelton is underway for continuing and returning students for spring quarter. Students need to check their time to register on the Olympic College Oasis site. Call 432-5400 for more information. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
7:45. Good morning. Beautiful start to the day. Going to be about 80 or so. I'm Jeff and she's Carol. It's Daybreak. Good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, the Menendez brothers, this OJ trial. So here's the other thing I heard about this OJ trial. Two things for you. Three things. First, the FX miniseries has been, I think, way more popular than anybody anticipated. Because we all followed, a lot of folks followed the trial every day. I remember coming home every day and watching the news. I think Tom Brokaw was the newscaster back then for NBC News. And, you know, they'd give the recap. Or on days where maybe the trial went long, it actually still would be on TV. So then they get this FX miniseries in. John Travolta's in it. David Schwimmer's in it. Cuba Gooding Jr. is OJ. And you see kind of the behind the scenes with the Marcia Clark and the Charles Darden. And again, I am just amazed. I remember all these people's names. And it was my mom who was watching it. She was like, the glove scene was amazing because Marcia Clark didn't want OJ to try the glove on. Thought it could all be bad news bears because, again, it was a leather glove that was covered in blood. And so it probably shrank. And then OJ's hands, they said they had him stop taking his ibuprofen and stuff. So his knuckles and things, his hands were swollen. So all sorts of things could have gone wrong. And as we know, it did. The glove don't fit. You got to quit. And again, that's what happened. But on the edge of how popular the OJ trial was and this FX thing, they're actually showing the trial again on the Esquire channel, like from Court TV.
Huh.
So you can go back and watch the full trial.
Yeah, I remember when it was happening that my roommate at the time, he was home every day watching this thing, and then he'd relay it to us, a summary afterwards. And I'm just like, wow, really? All day and inside? It was a beautiful day like today, and he's inside watching it.
Oh, so you weren't more enamored with the case, but you were just trying to figure out why this guy was inside all day.
Yeah.
It was during the summer. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, just because, so they saw the benefits, the numbers, the positive numbers from the OJ thing. So now NBC is looking into doing this again, though this time with the Menendez brothers, if you remember them.
Get ready for Law & Order, the Menendez Brothers. NBC has partnered with producer Dick Wolf on a Law & Order true crime anthology series, and first up, they'll explore the Menendez brothers' case, two brothers who murdered their parents in Beverly Hills in 1989. It sounds strikingly similar to the formula of FX's American crime story O.J. Simpson murder trial miniseries, which wrapped up on Tuesday with a lot of buzz and likely many Emmy nominations in its future. No word when we'll see the NBC project. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Oh, so if it worked for FX, try and see what happens for, that Dick Wolf guy is a very good producer of things.
Well, it was just, when it came out, the real trial came out, it was just like the first one that people were like, what?
These two rich kids from Beverly Hills
kill their parents, and then it was just all over the place. Yeah, it was something else. I remember
that trial. 7:48 here at iFiber One News Radio. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we have ABC News, and here's some of what's going to be in the newscast.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton each trying to say that the other isn't qualified to be president. Meantime, Ted Cruz is visiting a Brooklyn matzo factory, the latest from the primary in New York, coming up.
So that's at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. And then after that, we're going to have Mark Tobert in studios with us talking about yesterday's conversation that Thurston County Sheriff John Snazza had at St. Martin's College, St. Martin's University at the Worthington Center. He's talking about marijuana in Thurston County.
Right, and the effects on it or non-effects.
Yeah, we'll find out what he had to say yesterday during that conversation. We brought that up to you Tuesday when we talked with Carissa Benjamin from the Lacey Chamber. 7:49 right now, the Old Farmer's Almanac. We'll be right back here on 80-degree day.
Soon.
Eventually, yeah.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio.
Some are pie-in-the-sky dreams. Some will become part of our everyday lives. A look at some of this year's most interesting patents on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Thursday, April 7th, the 98th day of the year. Actors Russell Crowe and Jackie Chan share a birthday. What's new on the technological horizon? If some recent patents come to fruition, here's what the near future holds. Imagine a supersonic aircraft that will take you from New York to London in an hour. Drone technology is in the works for everything from rescue operations to Disney light shows. The next step in home theater will be holographic displays in your living room. Delivery trucks equipped with 3D printers will manufacture items while en route. And zoom-equipped contact lenses will be the next big thing for astronomers, not to mention would-be James Bonds. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more and sign up for our free newsletter at almanac.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFiber One News Radio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFiber One News Radio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFiber One News Radio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
iFiber One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
7:52, iFiber One News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here with Jeff and Carol. It's 7:52. 80 degrees, huh? Eventually today, about 5 o'clock. It's always 5 or so is the hottest part of the day here in the Pacific Northwest, and makes for a nice evening. You watch the sunset and get out there and enjoy it. I got a lot of pressure washing to do as I opened up my barbecue, and yikes, I wouldn't even want to cook something for my worst enemy on that barbecue. It was a mess.
Ugh, you don't clean it as you cook?
Well, you know, you clean it as you cook, or you start barbecuing into the fall and winter, and you're out there and it's raining, and you don't want to continue. I don't want to stand outside and clean the whole thing. So
you don't really clean. You just take those grill brushes and right afterwards, and then turn up the heat and just burn it all off.
Yeah. No, that would have been helpful
if you look
information last
If you look at his desk,
Carol,
you would probably realize that he probably was not going to clean that up.
Jeff Chu was at the Timberland Regional Library and got a promposal.
Who's the librarian modeling a prom dress? It's Mary Halterman. She's got a proposal for students from 5th to 12th grade who are looking for formal apparel to wear to their respective proms.
This is one of those crazy ideas that I got and decided to run with.
Halterman, Teen Services Librarian at Shelton Timberland Library, calls that crazy idea the promposal.
It's open to everyone, so everyone can register and get their name in for getting a dress. But yes, the idea is to help defray the cost of prom, which can be fairly prohibitive. Some people think that prom could cost around $900 average across the country, and that's for just one student going to prom. So we want to help students with that cost.
Halterman, who has worked at the library since September, heard of other communities lending a hand to students who can't afford to go to the prom.
Promposal is something that's completely new here at our library, but it's been done in different iterations around the country. So the idea is that we are getting dresses donated from people, from citizens, from local organizations, and we are going to be able to offer those dresses for free to high school students that are going to their senior ball.
She said promposal is aimed primarily at high school students, but younger students whose schools have proms can get help as well.
It gives them a chance to come in and just get a new, gently used dress or suit separates. We're also going to have stuff for those that want to dress in a suit or a tux. And then it's open to all teens, so grades 5 and up. And the other thing that we're going to be doing that day is having hair and makeup tutorials. We'll be having raffles for accessories like shoes and clutches. So all teens are welcome to come, and there's hopefully going to be something for everyone.
Registration for promposal starts Friday, April 8th.
They can register by going to our website, which is www.trl.org for Timberland Regional Library, and going to the events page, or they can call here, the library, or they can just come in and let us know that they want to register.
The library is at 710 West Alders Street, and the phone number is 360-426-1362. Just ask for Mary. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER One News.
Thanks, Jeff. And you can watch that video and see the beautiful gowns that are on that video at iFIBER1newsradio.com. I just Googled the 2016 prom dresses trends, because we were talking earlier this morning about just how different some of these dresses are from even years past. Some of these dresses, I suppose, could be considered almost like wedding dresses. They're very fancy. Looks like the midriff is the exposed midriff is the thing this year.
Yeah, some of the pictures that I've seen friends and family post on Facebook, they do look like a wedding party. And I'm just like, wow, and that's just a high school prom.
Well, people go crazy for promposals. They'll put up like big doings with balloons, and they'll have candles and stuff.
When I look back to what I wore to Tolo.
You can't compare Tolo to prom, because Tolo, all those...
Yeah, but you dressed up, though.
Yeah, but not like prom dress up.
I guess.
Do you guys have Sadie Hawkins dances where the girls ask the guys to Tolo too?
Yeah.
We had Tolo. Oh, we went to Tumwater. That's right.
Yes, we did. So Tolo, look at Tolo dresses.
They're about the same.
They're about the same.
I don't even know if other schools have that. But Sadie Hawkins was traditionally more of a dress down, and people would wear the same, so you knew where your partner was.
Jeans and flannel shirts.
Jeans and flannel shirts for us, too, in the mid-'90s at Tumwater. Pretty interesting stuff. 7:57 at iFIBER One News Radio. And good morning to you. They have got some back and forth already. The baseball season is what, 3 days old, 4 days old? Kansas City Royals say the song they played with a Mets pitcher while he was warming up just was a coincidence. It was not taunting. Trust me, it was just coincidence. Wink, wink.
When Mets pitcher Noah Syndergaard took the mound in Kansas City for warm-ups with his iconic long blonde hair, the song that blared over the PA... The timing created a social media stir. What were the Royals inferring? Syndergaard didn't seem to have a problem with it.
Struck him out.
He struck out 9 in 6 innings, gave up no runs. After the game, he said he noticed the song and thought it was funny. The Royals say the music selection had nothing to do with Syndergaard. The Mets and Royals, of course, faced off last fall in the World Series. Brian Burrow, ABC News.
No, I get it. Because he had long hair, they played American Woman. So clever.
Yeah, not so clever.
Here's a song I'm playing this morning, if I can get it going for us.
I am the wealthy.
No, that's a commercial. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we've got ABC News. Mary Lynn Foster has the latest in local news just after that. Sean Wells' sports reports. We've got the Masters gearing up today down in beautiful Augusta, Georgia. And it's going to be a hot one today. Heat wave.
It'll be a one-day heat wave.
Sure it will. So tomorrow, what are we expecting?
About mid-60s to 70s, right around there. It's going to cool down to like normal average temperatures.
That'd be perfect for people going to the baseball game.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Because tonight, marine wind's sort of blowing in. So. But get out there today and get some suntan.
Oh, good stuff. ABC News coming up next. News from the Tumwater Brewery in the 8 o'clock hour. Talked with Mark Tobert about Sheriff Snaz's conversation at the Worthington Center yesterday. Also, looks like the county may decide on a new position.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9, weekdays on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3 KMAS Shelton.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Nonprofits post your upcoming events on iFiberOneNewsRadio.com. The Hood Sport chapter of Takeoff Pound Sensibly would like to invite anyone interested in taking control of their weight to join Friday mornings for support. Weigh-in is from 8:30 to 9:45, and the meetings begin at 10 a.m. Tops meets in the Hood Sport Community Church at 71 Finch Creek Road. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Karen Chase. The candidates are in a New York state of mind. Hillary Clinton hopped a subway train at Yankee Stadium this morning to court votes.
My mother, my grandmother, they all love you.
Good. I need your help. Thank you.
Gracias,
Bernie Sanders is urging supporters to stick with him, despite Clinton's wide lead in the delegate count, saying he's on a roll and could still pull off a win.
If Secretary Clinton thinks that I just come from the small state of Vermont, we're not used to this, well, we will get used to it fast. I'm not going to get beaten up. I'm not going to get lied about. We will fight back.
Donald Trump returned to his home state holding a lead in the latest polling there.
It's great to be home. This is home. It's great to be home. We love New York.
Ted Cruz, who denounced New York values in a campaign speech, trails Trump and John Kasich in the state. Cruz says it wasn't a blanket statement about all New Yorkers.
The people that I was talking about are the liberal New York Democrats who have hammered this state. It is people like Mayor Bill de Blasio. It is people like Governor Cuomo.
San Antonio school officials are investigating a viral video showing a police officer body slamming a 12-year-old girl to the floor in a school hallway as classmates gasp in horror. She wasn't hurt, but was shocked.
I was upset. I was angry because I still couldn't believe that he had done that to her. And then she told me, Mom, I wasn't fighting. Why did he do that?
School officials say they don't tolerate excessive force. The job market continues to make positive noise. The number of people filing for unemployment benefits dropped by 9,000 last week. Evidence employers are hanging on to workers. The mission is to destroy the Death Star in the new Star Wars movie, according to the just-released trailer for Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
We have a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know what it is and how to destroy it.
Debuted on ABC's Good Morning America. This is ABC News.
Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench for Blue Emu.
I've used Blue Emu products for 10 years. They all have deep penetrating emu oil, but now for those hard to reach places, there's Blue Emu Continuous Pain Relief Spray, made with emu oil and the same active ingredient as the leading pain relief cream. Blue Emu Continuous Pain Relief Spray helps with all my joint pains and muscle aches. Blue Emu Continuous Pain Relief Spray. Take it from me, it works fast and you won't stink.
Available at Walmart, Rite Aid, and stores everywhere.
Here's an idea. Instead of waiting for your boss to give you a raise,
Give yourself one. It's easier than you think. By refinancing your mortgage with Quicken Loans, you could add hundreds of dollars each month to your bottom line. Like a boss. To learn how, call 800-QUICKEN or visit us at QuickenLoans.com. Again, that number is 800-QUICKEN. Quicken Loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
The town of Auburn, California, has been devastated by a case of repeat DUI. ABC's Alex Stone tells us 2 teens are dead, and a man is due in court today to face charges.
The 2 teens, both 15 years old, were high school football players walking along a road last Sunday when they were run down by a white Ford pickup. Police say 62-year-old Philip Ingram was behind the wheel. He was convicted of DUI in 2000, and they say he appeared drunk on Sunday. Megan Sharp is the aunt of one of the boys.
Thank you to the Sheriff's Department and all law enforcement that has participated in this.
Earlier this week, the boys' mothers made emotional pleas in court for Ingram to remain locked up. Today, he'll be back in court for his arraignment. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Princeton University has fired its lacrosse coach, Chris Bates, after reviewing a video showing him elbowing an opposing player during a game. It happened at a match against Brown University. Princeton has named an interim coach while it searches for a replacement. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Former Port Executive Director John Dobson signed a separation agreement package with the port totaling a little over $51,400. The agreement document shows the payment to Dobson covers separation pay, 164 hours of sick leave, and 272 hours of vacation leave. There are other terms for Dobson with the agreement. You can see them on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. The port commissioners who placed Dobson on administrative leave in early March released a copy of the agreement on Tuesday. Dobson and the port commissioner signed the agreement March 24th. Port commissioners Dick Taylor, Christy Buck, and Sue Patterson did not discuss the agreement during the regular meeting this week. They've declined to comment on the specific reasons why Dobson was asked to leave the port after 7 years of service. It's Ride Transit Month, and Christina Fremont with MTA used the service yesterday to get to Seattle from Shelton for a 1 p.m. meeting. She started by getting on the 9:45 a.m. Route 1 Express, which leaves from the Transit Community Center and becomes the Route 3 Express and arrives at the ferry in Bremerton at 11, with the ferry departing at 11:10.
This is just one bus, Shelton to Bremerton, and the fare is $1.50, and then it's free to get on the ferry. I get over to Seattle about 12:15. My meeting's at 1, so I've got 45 minutes. It's actually only a couple blocks from the ferry terminal, so I'm going to walk over there. My meeting gets done at 3, and then I'll walk 2 blocks to a bus stop, catch Sound Transit Express back to Olympia, which I happen to live in Olympia. That's $3.75 for that fare, and I'll be home by 5:30.
Wow.
Yeah. If I was to drive, if there was no traffic, and we know how traffic is between Seattle and Olympia, have an extra hour because I'm on transit. But for me personally, it's priceless in the sense loss of stress. I can get some work done.
And the total cost for the trip was well below the cost she would have paid just for parking, at $1.50 to Seattle and $3.75 back to Olympia. You can win prizes for going on a transit adventure of your own. Visit ridetransitmonth.org and register. Most Washington state employees are being instructed not to conduct any official travel to the state of Mississippi. Governor Jay Inslee announced the travel ban this week in response to Mississippi's controversial new law that allows business owners to refuse services to gay, lesbian, and transgender customers for religious reasons. The governor says the ban will be in effect as long as Mississippi's law exists in its current form. The governor also recently enacted a travel ban to North Carolina for that state's new law, which prohibits schools from allowing transgender students to use restrooms that match their gender identity. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Join Alex Jones weeknights from 6 to 10 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
There's a reason on a daily basis they have comics, TV hosts, media demonize this broadcast and yours truly, because they're demonizing Alex Jones as a figurehead of the libertarian liberty movement that is 1,000 light years more liberal than the fascistic control freak totalitarians that call themselves the trendies, that call themselves the hipsters. They're the idiot moron followers of the globalists.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things: dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experience the charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
Roger that.
Get charged up with Mountain Dew Kickstart, now in 4 energizing new flavors like Midnight Grape. It all starts with a kick.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Sheldon fast pitch scored early and often on their way to a 16-6 victory over Lincoln in 5 innings. The High Climbers will look to keep things rolling when they host Wilson this Monday. The Capital baseball team picked up a big win on the diamond. The Cougars knocked off Wilson 9-7. Capital is back in action at Gig Harbor this Friday. The Seattle Mariners got things going early, then came back late to knock off Texas 9-5. Robinson Cano kept his heater going, hitting his first of 2 home runs in the game in the first inning.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a fly ball deep into the gap in right center field. Chu going back to the 1-inning track to the wall, looks up, goodbye baseball, he does it again. 3 days in a row to start the year. Robinson Cano with another home run, his 3rd of the season.
Cano would go on to hit his 4th home run of the season in the 9th inning as the Mariners came back to score 5 runs and win the series versus the Rangers. The Seattle bullpen was again strong, throwing 3 scoreless innings. The Yims now lead the majors in homers with 9 on the season. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's going to be a nice one. I'm Carol Gardner, and here's the weather forecast. We're going to have some high clouds to sunny skies later this afternoon. Today's highs will be around 80. The record high is 78. Tomorrow, another great day, but back in more normal range, upper 60s to mid 70s. Perfect for the Mariners home opener. Weekend forecast looks partly cloudy with temps in the low to mid 60s, and right now it's 47.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South South's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:11 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. Daybreak here. Jeff and Carol. We're updating on information regarding the escape from Western State last night. Police say a bus driver reporting a possible sighting of 2 men who escaped from a psychiatric facility in Washington. This was last night. Lakewood Police Lieutenant Chris Lawler says the driver picked up a man he believes was 28-year-old Anthony Garver around 6 last night, which matches up with the timeline that the Western State and officials are providing. A couple hours later, bus driver picked up another guy, believes that this one was 58-year-old Mark Alexander Adams. Police are saying that both men pose a danger to others. We are continuing to monitor this story. We are finding more and more out about these folks, including the younger one, Garver, appears to be a survivalist who has made threats in the eastern part of the state against government buildings and judges.
Yeah.
So
FBI is involved, and they say that this Garver is considered a survivalist. So we'll see. We will see how the manhunt proceeds. Jeff?
Yep.
Tumwater City now owns the historic brew house. So the people of Tumwater have a stake in this.
Cool.
The donation of the brew house to the city was approved at their last night's council meeting. And now the city's responsible for restoring the 111-year-old structure.
Oh, that's how it worked.
Yeah, the cost to remodel and preserve the building is estimated at a little over $5.5 million. Needs a new roof and reinforced walls to earthquake proof. Everyone agrees it's going to take a lot of work and effort to turn the place into the envisioned craft brewing and distillery center. For now, the city owns it, though the official deed hasn't been signed yet. People are for it, people are against it, but the city has it right now.
8:12 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. We'll be right back to talk about yesterday's conversation that Sheriff John Snaza had in Thurston County at the Worthington Center on the marijuana issue.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
The ocean waves roll in, hypnotic, continuous, and perched high above rests the oldest family-owned resort on Washington's coast, Ocean Crest Resort. Picturesque, friendly, comfortable. Ocean Crest has served as the perfect ocean hideaway for over 60 years. With unsurpassed ocean views, warm fireplaces, full kitchens, swimming pool, hot tub, and spa. Ocean Crest Resort offers you total and unrivaled relaxation. Frommer's Guide reports you simply won't find a more spectacular setting anywhere on the Washington coast. And Ocean Crest's enchanting restaurant is listed as one of Washington's 13 ultimate restaurants you must visit before you die. See for yourself with our special 3-for-2 package. For a limited time, stay 2 nights and get a third night free. Call 800-684-8439, 800-684-8439, or visit oceancrestresort.com. Ocean Crest Resort, making memories since 1953. In Mo Cliffs, overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
Hi, I'm Scott Alsterberg, sales manager at the all-new Gillis Auto Center here in Shelton. Scott, I'm looking around the lot, and I see a lot more than just Dodge and Jeep and Ford.
You bet. Good local trades and good quality purchases from our community. We've got Subarus, Toyotas, Hondas, Kias, Hyundais, all the Chevrolets. We've got something for everybody. And not only that, we have certified pre-owned our Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and our full-line Ford family. And what that means is you get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with those cars.
How about this being the time that you're liquidating your 2015 stock?
Well, what that means to you is you can come in our store, pick out any new 2015 that we have in stock, and we're literally going to give everything to you. I'm going to show you the invoice. I'm going to give you the dealer holdback, plus you're going to get all applicable rebates. You'll walk out of the store literally saving up to $9,923.
It is the all-new Gillis Auto Center, just off the Shelton City Center exit.
Just go to Gillis.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
8:16 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Going to talk with Mark Tobert in just a moment on a conversation yesterday regarding marijuana in Thurston County. Mason County commissioners are expected to fill the newly created Community Services Director position today, hire a Public Works Director as well. Commissioner Chairwoman Terry Jeffrey said they'll discuss the finalists for both positions and make appointments at the meetings. So we'll look forward to finding out who they have chosen for those big new positions, a newly created position, and then a person that is coming in for the Public Works Director, as Brian Matthews left the county about a month ago, I'd say. 8:15 now, Carol. We got a great guest in studio.
We do. One of our own.
I mean, you're a guest because you're not normally on the morning show here with us. Mark Tobert, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Got my coffee. I'm ready.
You're up early.
Got my Mariners hat on.
I see
ready
that.
For the Mariners
ready
game.
for the Mariners this season. All looking good.
Mm-hmm.
You were at St. Martin's University yesterday in the beautiful Worthington Center to hear a conversation presented by Thurston County Sheriff John Snaza talking about cannabis. Now, was it just kind of how an overview of the states, how the state's working with cannabis, or was it Thurston County specific? Or
It was mostly focused on Thurston County, and the sheriff had a packed house there at the Lacey South Sound Chamber Forum for the lunch networking meeting, and the sheriff focused mostly on the headache that it's created for law enforcement and enforcing marijuana laws and the statistics around the state. And then he really focused on the youth involvement in how marijuana is affecting today's youth and really early, as early as elementary school in some cases. Where,
wow.
Kids are using marijuana now. So that was his, the biggest concern from the sheriff was that, kids are getting this marijuana. And another thing he focused on was that the marijuana that we had in the 70s and 80s was a lot lower content, like 1 to 3% of THC, the active ingredient. And now it's up to 30% THC in some of these strains that you can get in the recreational marijuana stores.
So tell us a little bit about how it's a headache for law enforcement. I mean, I can guess sort of on some things, but how are they dealing with it?
Well, like the enforcement for DUI, if you smoke marijuana in your home legally, that stays in your system. So if you go out and drive your car and you don't have marijuana in your car, they can still, there's a way to detect if you're driving under the influence, obviously, same as would be for alcohol, but there's only like 3 officers statewide that are trained to detect drug, how you look or your reactions to after you've been smoking marijuana. But if if you've been smoking it for a while in your own home, which is perfectly legal now, if they stop you and suspect you of a DUI, they have to draw a search warrant for your blood, but it only takes like 0.5 nanograms to arrest you for being under the influence of marijuana. And so that, becomes a headache because it's legal to smoke it in your home, but if you get in a vehicle and drive, then you could be convicted of a DUI and arrested.
So do they talk about how long it stays in your body, though? I mean,
it could stay in your fatty tissues up to 30 days.
So
but
if you
for somebody that's a long-term smoker, I mean, that could be in their system for quite a while.
Right. So if you
smoke, I would guarantee that 30 days.
Yeah. So if you smoked 30 days ago and then you go out driving, they could pull you over, maybe suspiciously for something, and then they could do a blood test on you?
Yeah, if they suspect that you are under the influence, whether it be alcohol, and they're going to test you for alcohol before they test you for anything else. And then you have a field sobriety test just like you would if it was a DUI for alcohol. You can be arrested for driving under the influence of marijuana. And so that creates a kind of a legal headache because it's illegal to smoke it in your own home, but it's illegal to have it in your system if you're driving.
Sure. When I think about some of the telltale signs that we're all familiar with, red eyes, not being able to pay attention or whatever, droopy eyelids, things like this. When I drive into work at 4 a.m, I am often red-eyed and droopy. So is that another thing that they're kind of determining? Well, is this guy high or is he just tired or does he have allergies?
Yeah, I don't know how they rule that out. Like I said, there's like only 3 officers trained statewide, and it's the training for that, I guess, is really expensive for them to put an officer through that drug detection training. So I don't know what and he kind of joked about, the signs: apathy, disrespect, disinterest, depression. Well, that's any teenager walking around, so you can say, well, my kid's like that all the time. But, and he said, I got 2 teenagers that act like that too. So it's not that, it's difficult, unless you're trained in detecting it. And there's certain tests, I guess, that they can do that will show that you are under the influence of a drug, either it be THC or another kind of drug, and having a prescription drug that maybe not prescribed to you is the same thing. And having it in your vehicle, if you have prescription drugs in your vehicle, not in a container that are addressed to you, you can be arrested for that. Yeah. And if you have marijuana in your vehicle, even in a container that you bought it on, if it's not a sealed container, still in the with the receipt from the store that you bought it at, you can be arrested for having an open container of marijuana in your vehicle.
So I can see how this can be really a headache. So when if an officer pulls somebody over and they have suspicious that, you know, they're driving an influence and they want to do this marijuana testing and stuff, and then they say that they do have marijuana in them or whatever, then there's only 3 that are really trained for this in the whole state. Then it sort of makes you think, well, then, you know, if I get a good lawyer, I can get off this charge, because you don't really know what you're doing, because there's only 3 and you're not one of them trained.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
so
you don't know which 3 you're going to run,
right.
which ones you're going to run across.
But I can see how it can be a big headache for
So are people,
everybody.
are officers being proactive in fining people for driving under the influence of marijuana? Does he say arrests are up? Or?
You know, they're, especially on, you know, holiday weekends or, you know, when they have, you know, extra traffic enforcement out, specifically looking for DUI, not necessarily for marijuana, but people that are putting people at risk, swerving in lanes and things like that. So, you know, I think their enforcement is, and, you know, just my opinion, but I know that law enforcement is out there actively enforcing the law for DUI, and they have task forces that are on the roads that involve sheriff's office, local police departments. Sometimes the military is involved, DEA. He mentioned that the federal government, though, is not in the enforcement game for this, so that, you know, they're kind of withdrawing federal agents on this, and they're not prosecuting people for marijuana.
I heard yesterday that the feds were thinking about reclassifying this maybe in 2 months or so, by the middle of the year, potentially reclassifying it from the Schedule 1 drug where it's in line with the heroin and stuff like that. Did he mention that, the classification?
He mentioned that methamphetamine and heroin is really on the rise too, especially in our area, and that his biggest concern was the kids getting their hands on this stuff.
Sure.
And you know, some of the parents that grew up with marijuana, like I said before, the THC content was so much less back in the 70s and 80s, and then now it's up to like 30% for some of the strains. And the kids, you know, are being, you know, hospitalized because their parents think, you know, okay, well, it's no big deal. It's just marijuana. Well, the THC in the marijuana is so much higher now that it's causing, you know, psychotic behavior. And some people are just, you know, they don't know how to handle that, so they're being hospitalized. And he said that, you know, marijuana has not really affected drivers in the past, but now it's becoming more, you know, where they have more people being involved in accidents that they get tested, and it was because they were under the influence of marijuana.
But do you think that has really risen, or they're just being more like aware of it now and of testing for the marijuana? I mean, did he mention that, I guess, as I should say?
He mentioned that it was more there. Everybody's more aware of it now because it's legal and it's being, you know, advertised, and the retailers, there's more and more retailers out there. And he said that Washington State, by the year, I think 2020, is probably going to be #1 in the nation in the distribution of marijuana.
Yeah.
Did he discuss how the kids are getting access? I mean, because you said that he had said that the kids are the rising increase for children. Is it because of the parents' apathy, basically?
Probably. You know, I don't want to speculate or put words in his mouth, but you know, that's what I gathered from his talk, was that you know, the parents who smoked it back in the 70s and 80s, they, you know, no big deal for them because the content was, or the THC content was so much lower. But, you know, now they're still smoking it at home, and their kids have access to it, and they're bringing it into the schools, and that was his biggest concern, was that there's this whole new generation of kids that are getting access to these drugs with a lot higher content, and they're stronger now. So, and it's becoming a problem, and they really need to get the education out there for parents who may have done that in the past to let their kids know, this is not a good thing to do anymore. It's not cool.
Not the same as it used to be. 8:27 here at iFiber One. Thanks, Mark. I'm glad you were able to get over there and get that information for us.
Absolutely.
All part of the Lacey South Sound Chambers monthly luncheons that they do?
It is the first Wednesday of every month.
Very good. All right, we are going to take a break here. We got to get to the morning stock numbers in just a couple of moments. Also, Marilyn Foster has the latest in local news. And we'll be back with more on Daybreak just right after this.
Listening to Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio.
My Mason Health is getting everyone connected to their online medical record. Free online access to your medical records from anywhere in the world is now possible 24/7. Manage your medical appointments, message your providers, review your medical information, see test results, and now available online bill pay. It's so easy to access your secure online health record from your computer or smartphone. Whether you're at home, at work, or on vacation, you can get connected. Just visit masongeneral.com or ask how to join My Mason Health at your next hospital or clinic visit.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Mornings start with Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio. Join Jeff and Carol weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
iFiber One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
8:29 here at iFiber One News Radio. After we get off the show here, Mark Cobert, who we just had on the air, talking about the meeting yesterday, Carol, we're going to get that full 30-minute conversation from Sheriff Snaza on iFiber1newsradio.com.
Yep, we'll put up that audio soon. Sometime today.
Audio and video, I think, no? He recorded it. He said I video recorded it.
Okay, well, if it's video, we'll put whatever we got up on the website.
Old, actually. On the phone line this morning from Edward Jones. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Well, and you?
Happy. It's lovely outside.
That's going to get even better.
I know.
81 or so.
I know. And so tomorrow, just want you to know, either I'll be or it could be Miss Sherry tomorrow. I'll be in Eastern Washington. So depending on if I have good coverage, I'll call.
Okay.
If not, it'll be her. Okay?
Okay, sounds good. And how's Wall Street right now?
Well, U.S. stocks are trading lower as investors seek safer assets amid concerns over global economic growth. In economic news, the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits fell more than expected last week, suggesting that the labor market continued to strengthen. The prior week's claims were unrevised. On the earnings front, ConAgra Foods reported quarterly results above expectations due to cost cuts and lower input costs. U.S. bond prices are trading higher with weaknesses in equity. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is utilities, while the worst performing sector is telecom. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 168 points at 17,547. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is down 17 points at 2,049, and the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 59 points at 4,860. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 212 million shares being traded, and decliners are outnumbering advancers by roughly 4-to-1 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up $17.88 to $1,240.38. The spot price of silver is down 22 cents to $15.29, and crude oil prices are down 58 cents to $37.17. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.53%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.71%. Stocks of local interest, Amazon is down $9.74. Costco is down $4.47. Boeing is down $1.07. Starbucks is up 16 cents, and Microsoft is down 55 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right. Well, have a great day
Thank
and
you
have a
too.
safe
Happy
drive
sunny.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
8:30, and we'll check the latest in local news right now, brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Former Port Executive Director John Dobson signed a separation agreement package with the port totaling a little over $51,400. The agreement document shows the payment to Dobson covers separation pay, 164 hours of sick leave, and 272 hours of vacation leave. There are other terms for Dobson with the agreement. You can see them on our website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. The port commissioners who placed Dobson on administrative leave in early March released a copy of the agreement on Tuesday. Dobson and the port commissioner signed the agreement March 24th. Port commissioners Dick Taylor, Christy Buck, and Sue Patterson did not discuss the agreement during the regular meeting this week. They've declined to comment on the specific reasons why Dobson was asked to leave the port after 7 years of service. It's Ride Transit Month, and Christina Fremont with MTA used the service yesterday to get to Seattle from Shelton for a 1 p.m. meeting. She started by getting on the 9:45 a.m. Route 1 Express, which leaves from the Transit Community Center and becomes the Route 3 Express and arrives at the ferry in Bremerton at 11, with the ferry departing at 11:10.
This is just one bus, Shelton to Bremerton, and the fare is $1.50, and then it's free to get on the ferry. I get over to Seattle about 12:15. My meeting's at 1, so I've got 45 minutes. It's actually only a couple blocks from the ferry terminal, so I'm going to walk over there. My meeting gets done at 3, and then I'll walk 2 blocks to a bus stop, catch Sound Transit's Express back to Olympia, which I happen to live in Olympia. That's $3.75 for that fare, and I'll be home by 5:30.
Wow.
Yeah. If I was to drive, if there was no traffic, and we know how traffic is between Seattle and Olympia, have an extra hour because I'm on transit. But for me personally, it's priceless in the sense loss of stress. I can get some work done.
And the total cost for the trip was well below the cost she would have paid just for parking, at $1.50 to Seattle and $3.75 back to Olympia. You can win prizes for going on a transit adventure of your own. Visit ridetransitmonth.org and register. Most Washington state employees are being instructed not to conduct any official travel to the state of Mississippi. Governor Jay Inslee announced the travel ban this week in response to Mississippi's controversial new law that allows business owners to refuse services to gay, lesbian, and transgender customers for religious reasons. The governor says the ban will be in effect as long as Mississippi's law exists in its current form. The governor also recently enacted a travel ban to North Carolina for that state's new law, which prohibits schools from allowing transgender students to use restrooms that match their gender identity. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
At Mason PUD3, we know that time changes all things, like phone numbers, mailing addresses, and email addresses, even names. PUD3 needs your correct account information for emergency contacts and online security. To make this fun, all PUD3 customers who update or confirm their account information by April 27th will have their names placed into a drawing for a free iPad mini. Go to masonpud3.org/account to learn more.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Fit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
NBA with around 4 to 5 games to go. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. Well, the Mavericks did their part last night, keeping a slim cushion over Utah. They beat the Rockets 88-86 with Mavs guard J.J. Barea scoring 27.
We got to take advantage at home against a team that's right there with us. It's a must-win. Like every game left, it's a must-win, but this one was definitely one of the biggest of the year.
The Mavs are a game up on the Jazz. With LeBron James getting a night's rest, the Pacers took advantage at home.
Robinson gets it to Miles, who drives the lane and throws it down with a left hand. Oh, Slam City.
On WFNI, Indiana knocks off Cleveland 123-109. Pacers still lead 8th place Detroit by a half game. And 76ers GM Sam Hinkie has quit. Philadelphia is 10-68 this season. Well, Trevor is the big baseball story.
Fly ball to left center. Pretty well struck, and he has done it again. Yep. Home run for Trevor Story, his 4th in 2 games.
On KTAR, and according to the Elias Sports Bureau, Story is also the first player in baseball history to hit a home run for each of his first 4 hits. When the Dodgers beat the Padres 7-0, making San Diego the first team in Major League history to be shut out in its first 3 games. Pod skipper Andy Green.
You know, we do have 159 games left, and then we will score runs this year, and we will win series this year.
The Padres were outscored 25-0, setting the dubious record. Big day today as the Masters gets underway from Augusta National, and when it comes to majors, it starts with Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, and defending champion Jordan Spieth. Well, the greatest of all, Jack Nicklaus, spoke to ESPN.
They all three have their strengths. I mean, Jason Day is probably the longest of the 3 when he wants to be. Rory is probably the most. I suppose he can get the streakiest. He can get on a streak and really go. And Jordan is very, very steady.
Nicklaus and Gary Player will hit the ceremonial opening tee shot this morning. Arnold Palmer will be there, but says he's not well enough to hit. College hoops, Kentucky point guard Tyler Ulis will enter the NBA draft. Duke guard Grayson Allen will return for his junior season. Bryce Drew is the new head coach at Vanderbilt. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Sheldon fast pitch scored early and often on their way to a 16-6 victory over Lincoln in 5 innings. The High Climbers will look to keep things rolling when they host Wilson this Monday. The Capital baseball team picked up a big win on the diamond. The Cougars knocked off Wilson 9-7. Capital is back in action at Gig Harbor this Friday. The Seattle Mariners got things going early, then came back late to knock off Texas 9-5. Robinson Cano kept his heater going, hitting his first of 2 home runs in the game in the first inning.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a fly ball deep into the gap in right center field. Chu going back to the 1-inning track to the wall, looks up, goodbye baseball, he does it again. 3 days in a row to start the year. Robinson Cano with another home run, his 3rd of the season.
Cano would go on to hit his 4th home run of the season in the 9th inning as the Mariners came back to score 5 runs and win the series versus the Rangers. The Seattle bullpen was again strong, throwing 3 scoreless innings. The M's now lead the majors in homers with 9 on the season. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 8:40. I'm Carol Gardner, and here's the weather. It's going to be a beautiful day. Blue skies, lots of sunshine. Highs will be around 80. Tomorrow, another great day, but back in the more average range, upper 60s to mid-70s, perfect for the Mariners home opener. Weekend forecast looks partly cloudy with temps in the low to mid-60s. Right now, it's already 50.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:41 at iFIBER ONE Newsradio. It's Daybreak with Jeff and Carol. Mark Ziegler coming in from Shelton Parks and Rec in just a couple of moments here, but some
county story that we have to tell you. The Mason County Commissioners, they're expected to fill the newly created Community Services Director position and hire a Public Works Director today. Commissioners Chairwoman Terry Jeffries said they'll discuss finalists for both positions and make an appointment at today's meeting.
Going to take a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll have that Focus on Shelton brought to you by our Community Credit Union here on Daybreak. It's 8:41.
You're listening listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Savor the savings. We're serving up a great deal at our community credit union. 1% cash back and no payments for 90 days. Do you have an auto, boat, RV, personal, or any other type of consumer loan? Get a taste of this. For a limited time, we'll treat you to 1% cash back instantly when you move your loan to our community credit union. Don't wait. Apply online at ourcu.com or visit a branch location in Shelton, Union, McClary, Elma, Montesano, or Vashon.
This is Kathy. The best way to keep current on local news and issues is by subscribing to the Mason County Journal. The importance of subscribing to the paper hit home when the marijuana businesses started cropping up in local neighborhoods and people called the paper saying they hadn't heard about the zoning changes. I had to inform the callers that this issue had been discussed in the paper for many months, and the best way to know what was happening in their community was to read the local newspaper. As a result, many of them started up a subscription. Call 426-4412 or visit masoncounty.com to start your subscription today.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. Thursday, focusing on Shelton on this beautiful day. Great day to get out, recreate, head to a park if you can. From Parks and Rec in the city of Shelton, Mark Ziegler's on the air with us. Morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Liking the sunshine.
It's nice out there already.
Yeah, 50 or so. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon.
Yeah, take advantage of the outdoors if you can today.
Well, we're going to try to get every kid in a park. Is that right?
That's the idea.
I like it. Tell me more.
Well, this is a national program. So this is a program through the National Parks Foundation in cooperation with the National Parks, and we are taking advantage of that locally here with assistance from the Olympia Mountaineers. And what it is the National Park Foundation instituted a program that provides a free pass into U.S. national parks that's good through August 31st of this year to any fourth grader in the country. So any fourth grader can get a free pass in the national parks, go out and explore and have an adventure out there, and in some of those areas that they may not have been, or maybe it's someplace they have been and want to explore again. So what Shelton Parks and Recreation has done is partner with the Olympia Mountaineers. They put together a program that gives these kids and these families the tools they need when they get out in the national forest, national parks. Survival gear, what to take with them, how to be prepared, what to expect when you're out, kind of in some of the wilderness areas. What are good areas to go? You've got the Olympic National Park. Kind of out here on the peninsula, you got Dosey Wallops and, like Crescent Hurricane Ridge and all those areas, and maybe what you'd see there, what you can anticipate, what kind of hikes are available, on those hikes, how are you going to be best prepared to traverse that terrain, and what to take with you, and how to be prepared with your family. So
which plants not to touch,
maybe
not to rub all over
maybe not
yourself.
to eat, and stay away from. So it's those are great skills for especially if you haven't been out in the wilderness, and these are essentially experts in their field. They do this on a daily basis, and they research this, and they've got this knowledge, they've got these skill sets that they want to share with their kids in our community. So it's a great opportunity on Wednesday.
We have a promo that we play, or a public service announcement that we play. And the premise is that it's a kid talking to his friend about a virtual forest that he walked in like through VR glasses or something like that. And he's talking about the robot frog noises or something. And then the other kid says, oh, well, I actually went to a park and I was running through streams and looking at animals and wildlife. It's got to be maybe not so much, although on some level, kids here in Mason County, but when you get into like Pierce and King counties, in the Seattle areas, or maybe even the Olympia areas, people are, you got to tell them that there's nature out there.
They haven't experienced that.
There's deer and billy goats and all sorts of things.
And these are unique areas, and we have 3 national parks in our state. So we have Olympic National Park, like set up on the peninsula. It's all the way down Dosey Wallop, so it's not far away. It's a short drive. The North Cascades, which goes basically with the Cascade Range up at the Canadian border, all the way down like the north end of Lake Chelan, and comes through there. And then there's Mount Rainier, obviously, that national park. So there's some great opportunities out there for everybody to take advantage of and maybe see something new.
So again, you said Wednesday people are getting together?
Wednesday, Civic Center.
Okay.
6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Any fourth grader here. We are asking for a $10 registration fee. We can provide scholarships if folks can't afford that $10 fee. But that $10 fee helps the Olympic Mountaineers obviously pay for supplies and everything that they are supplying to the program and the other hard costs that we have. So we try to keep that as low as possible for anybody to participate if they wanted to.
Mountaineers is a great organization, too. You can find them online at olympiamountaineers.org. They, as Mark mentioned, they get out all the time. Every weekend, I think they're out and about.
Yeah, exactly right.
Mountaineering around.
Exactly right. And it's a group. So they're out together, and they set up hikes and adventures, and there's something all the time on their website.
Should we go to any specific website to learn more about this? I see everykidinapark.gov is one of them.
That's a little more information on the National Park Foundation. Absolutely. If you can't make it to the class, you're interested in getting one of the passes as well, you certainly can go to that website and check that out and get the pass as well. There, obviously you don't have to go to the class to get the pass, but this class will give those the basic information and some more skills that they might want when they're going out into the wilderness.
Yeah, you don't want to go out there and not know anything.
Yeah, exactly. Bring a water bottle, at least with you, right? Yeah, wear the proper shoes, those types of things.
Do you have any good adventures that you ever went on in the national park?
I grew up here, so most of my adventures were locally, but I have spent time in Olympic National Park up at the Dosey Wallops area and hiking up in their Staircase. The north side of Staircase gets up in the national park there too. So spent times up in there fishing up in Mildred Lakes and hiking up there, and it's there's always something to see, and you know what? You don't see a lot of people.
No, it's really nice.
Especially you pick a weekday over summer break. You want to get out with your family and go up in the national park. You can find areas where there's not a whole lot of people and really see something unique that you won't see anyplace else.
And it changes every year. The weather comes in and out. You see some new cool stuff.
Yeah.
Very neat. Well, a lot of fun. Thanks for coming in and letting us know about this. It's coming up tomorrow. We'll put all the information on our website, of course.
Great.
And then you're coming in on the 18th.
That's right.
To talk about the parks here in Shelton for National Park Week.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we'll get a little more detail, I guess, maybe, and try to pan into some of our local parks.
Let people know
what they have to offer. And
for sure. Cool. All right, Mark. Well, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks.
6:51 here, brought to you by our Community Credit Union. We'll take a break here from the Old Farmer's Almanac, and when we come back and continue this Thursday, beautiful day, 81 or so around these parts. My goodness. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Some are pie-in-the-sky dreams. Some will become part of our everyday lives. A look at some of this year's most interesting patents on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Thursday, April 7th, the 98th day of the year. Actors Russell Crowe and Jackie Chan share a birthday. What's new on the technological horizon? If some recent patents come to fruition, here's what the near future holds. Imagine a supersonic aircraft that will take you from New York to London in an hour. Drone technology is in the works for everything from rescue operations to Disney light shows. The next step in home theater will be holographic displays in your living room. Delivery trucks equipped with 3D printers will manufacture items while en route. And zoom-equipped contact lenses will be the next big thing for astronomers, not to mention would-be James Bonds. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more and sign up for our free newsletter at almanac.com.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
It's 8:52 at iFIBER One News Radio. We're watching the show this morning. I'm the one on the right now.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Jeff and Carol here on a Thursday morning. Nice day today, huh, Carol?
Beautiful day. It'll probably reach 80 if you're south of Seattle, I'm guessing. Especially in Shelton. Shelton is predicted to be higher than even Olympia.
Sure.
So get on out there. Some people say put on sunscreen.
Some people. I mean, most people say it. Some people actually do it.
Yeah, okay. Most people say it. Some people do it. You know, whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself when you go outside and face the sun. But get out there and enjoy it. It's going to be really nice.
For me, I think a big thing that I will have to remember is to remain, well, here's a couple things. Calm, exactly. I see the sunshine, I go crazy town. No, you got to remember just a couple of things. This is the first super hot day this year, right?
Yes.
20 degrees warmer than yesterday?
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
So just yesterday, you may have been driving around in your car with your dog or cat, whatever.
I may have
or child or senior. Right. Well, today, 20 degrees warmer. Yeah. Remember that inside your car, it gets super hot very fast. You're in a car that's 80, and after about 10, 15 minutes, it's like 100 inside.
Right, even with your windows cracked. It's not a good idea to leave pets or small children in your vehicle.
Or the elderly, too.
Or the elderly.
Remember, we've got to bring everybody in.
Everybody.
So that's what's happening today because, just yesterday it was 60. People wearing jackets. Today it's going to be 80, and you may have
you didn't
forgot.
Wear shorts today. Or your... No, you don't have Birkenstocks. You have just sandals.
I did. 8:54. I thought about that.
But you only can see
us
from the waist up.
So maybe it's because I'm maybe not wearing anything.
Don't even go there. Thank you.
Tomorrow's Friday. We are going to talk with Brad Miller from Graduation Matters Shelton. He'll come on the air with us. Also, with this nice weather, if folks are going to start wanting to recreate a little bit more, Steve Kramer will provide the fishing and hunting guides for us tomorrow morning. Still the opportunity to ski. Chuck Devine's ski report. There can't be many more of these as the season continues to go in. Also, coming up, we want to remind you that is not where that story went. The Mason County, here we go. Mason County commissioners are expected to fill the newly created community service director position and hire a public works director today. Commissioners Chairwoman Terry Jeffrey says they'll discuss finalists for both positions and make appointments. Commissioners created the new position as part of a major reorganization of county management. It basically combines the duties of community services and the health department directors. The new community services director would supervise community development and health department, finances, planning, and permit assistance center, and overseeing the environmental health and the community family health departments. So a large position, big position here.
And we'll have that story, what happened at the meeting, on our website later on today, iFiber1newsradio.com. Jeff Chu will probably have that report. We'll also post that on our Facebook, 1030 KMAS, and on our Twitter feed, iFiber One Radio.
Yeah, it is... seeing if we have any new information about the 2 folks who escaped from Western State last night. No, they are still out on the loose, it looks like. 28-year-old Anthony Garver and 58-year-old Mark Alexander Adams. They feel like they left Western State through an open window around 6 or 6:30 last night. They did a check, I think, on them around 7 or 7:30, so there was a little bit of a lead time they were able to get out. What's interesting is that there's a bus driver in Lakewood who feels as though he picked up one of the guys, the younger one, Anthony Garver, around 6 o'clock Wednesday, which would line up with what the timeline is that they're telling us.
Right.
A couple hours later, the bus driver says he picked up another guy, and he thinks that it may have been the other guy.
Yeah.
58-year-old Mark Alexander Adams.
And he thinks that they pretty much got off at the Lakewood Town Center Transit Center. So then who knows where they went off to.
Sure. We have to check the cameras. Hopefully that's wired there at the transit center. They're able to check that out.
They are considered dangerous, so call 911 if you happen to see anything.
Well, as I mentioned earlier this morning, that the new Star Wars movie comes out this December.
Movie?
Here's the thing. Disney is going to put out a Star Wars movie every year until people don't go to see them anymore. And that's basically what they said. Last year we had that great episode 7, The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams' first film. So now the new one will be coming out this December, and it's called Star Wars Rogue One. And here's the premise. If you ever wondered in episode 4, A New Hope, where we first met these, this is the 77 film. If you ever wondered how the rebels got the plans to blow up the Death Star, because they don't talk about that in the movie, at the end of what was considered episode 3, that's when Darth Vader became Darth Vader. So between then and when Luke is flying around, people wonder, well, okay, they got the plans. How did they get the plans? Well, that's what this movie's all about.
We have a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know what it is and how to destroy it.
They had some clear. They had some clips on Good Morning America this morning of Rogue One. You can see the videos on the internet.
So these are going to be sort of like little, or a full-size movie?
They're real movies, yeah.
So an in-depth look at certain aspects of the
Star Wars
universe movies. And this is going to come out every year. And then there'll be another big Star Wars movie also.
Next year. The episode 8 will be next year.
So we're going to have this miniseries this year, episode 8 next year, and then more miniseries interspersed with regular movies.
Regular franchise movies. Yeah.
Interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a standalone Han Solo movie, or a standalone Yoda movie, or a standalone Chewbacca movie.
You wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. And they're going to continue to make these as long as people go.
Well, get out the popcorn and Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite.
You're listening to Daybreak.
See you tomorrow.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
The Chad Benson Show, live weekdays from 3 to 6 on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.